Hello, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Louise Claire Johnson. I am the author of Behind the Red Door and I make bookish writing content here on YouTube. And in today's video, I wanted to walk you through what I do to reflect on the past year and plan and prepare for the year ahead. So today I've got my writing tools ready to show you, and I'll make this pretty quick, pretty seamless, so that this is something that you can do. Take what you like, leave what you don't, for your own writing, reflecting, kind of summing up the year. I really like to take the time to do this. I usually pour a cup of tea, light a candle, and make an evening out of it, because I think it's so important to reflect and look back at all of your wins and accomplishments that you have done over the past 12 months, because it is very easy to forget everything that you've done even in January, and it is so easy for us as humans to always be forward focused and looking ahead to the next thing. We very rarely dwell in the present, even though that's what mindfulness is. Everyone's always talking about being mindful, being present. It's hard to do because we are always trying to accomplish the next thing, looking ahead. But I really like to split up this evening of looking back at the past, seeing what worked, what went well, and what I can still work on, and what I want to bring into this next year. I feel like it's just like a nice summation. One of the big things that worked well for me this year was simplicity, and this is something I plan to continue in 2024, just paring down even how I do this process. So I have had all sorts of digital, I have my laptop right here, calendars. I did use Notion. I still have a bunch of notes on notion.com. If I have overflowed thoughts and I want to house them somewhere, Google Docs, Google Calendars, iCal, it can get overwhelming even putting notes there, notes on your iPhone. I was starting to get overwhelmed and lost with all of that kind of stuff. So what I've done this past year, and it worked really well for someone like me who is very literary, I'm a paper and pen type person, I went back to basics. So for me, notebooks and good old-fashioned agendas like you had, or some people call them planners, back in school, and my wall calendar. So I keep everything in paper form. If I ever do have to on the go write a note in my iPhone, or something from my email comes in, I immediately transfer it to my agenda. I live and breathe by this. I like having the wall calendar so I can see everything at a quick glance for the month. But this allows me to break down my yearly, quarterly, monthly, weekly, and daily goals, and that for me is huge. So that's the very first thing I want to tell you is my tools of the trade: a moleskine or a leuchturm notebook, a paper old-fashioned agenda. I like the big ones. I keep it on my desk. A wall calendar, and then I use gel pens. My favorite are these Japanese gel pens from Amazon. I have a pack of black ones and multicolored ones, and I use that to color coordinate. I also use a kanban board. So this I have on a little whiteboard beside my wall calendar. And a kanban board is very simple. You make 3 columns. You could even do this in a notebook. I like having it on my wall as a mini whiteboard, and I use sticky notes that I can transfer manually. And it's the act of taking all of your to-dos, your tasks, putting them in a list of to-do, doing is the next column, and done. And you can physically, tangibly see you moving each task until it's so satisfying having that done column, all of your little stickies. So that is the other thing that I do once everything is in my agenda. I take my weekly tasks and my monthly tasks, and I will put that for each month on the kanban board. So moving forward, I'm going to clear my December one and plan for January. All of the tasks that are in my brain for personal and professional, I will put on little multicolored sticky notes, and that's just for January. So I'll know what I have to do for that month on the board beside my monthly calendar. And then if I have yearly things or weekly, that goes into my agenda. But before we do that, the way that I like to reflect on the past year, this is my yearly reflection notebook. So my very first step is I will go through my entire agenda month by month and note any big milestones, events, travels that I did in each month this past year. This is really fun to reflect on all of the weddings or birthdays that you've attended, places you've traveled, weekends away, fun dinners or nights out, things like that. I will just kind of jog my memory, go through the whole year. Next, I will write out any cultural events that happened during the year, as well as any podcasts that I listened to, TVs and movies that we watched, and as well as the books that I've read. So I keep track of my books on Goodreads, and I just like to see the stats every year of how many books did I read this year compared to last year, what were some of my favorites, and after that I answer a few journal prompts and reflection questions. Over the years I've pared them down a little bit, and I will share them with you now in case you want to journal on your own. I think they've been really helpful for me and I just really like them. So these are my journal prompts. So I've got my notebook here, and the first thing I do is write out 2023 was the year of blank. And it can be one word or it can be a sentence, but just kind of one little summation of what did this past year encompass. And then for me, looking back at 2022 was the year of weddings and book number 2, which I have not said the title yet, so I won't give that away yet, but that was writing, finishing, completing my second book. So that was last year. And then these are the journal prompts. So the first question is, what am I most proud of? Try to list at least 3 things, 1 to 3. What are you most proud of? The next prompt is, what have I learned this year? Take some time, look through, what have you learned this year? Next is, list any challenges or reasons why I might not have achieved some of my goals yet. And it's important to put yet because you will achieve them, but what were any obstacles or roadblocks that got in the way of you trying to achieve what you wanted to achieve? Was somebody sick in your family? Were you personally sick? Was it just you didn't make it a priority that year? Other things took precedent? It's very easy to do. Do not beat yourself up. This is not to shame you. It's more to see, okay, what are kind of some things that I can eliminate? And is it scrolling on social media to make this goal more of a priority? The next one is, how did my life evolve, change, and grow in 2023? And then lastly, grateful for. So this is something that I do in my 5-minute journal every morning, but I like to just do a quick summation of things that I'm grateful for from this past year. So once I've reflected on the past year, then really simply, again, simplification, I'm all about that these days. I like to just kind of dream and brainstorm in the notebook before I go into my agenda and planner and my wall calendar of 3 major goals that I want to accomplish in 2024. I used to do 5, but it's honestly too many. 3 is the perfect amount for me to truly focus on, and then I can break down those goals into mini steps and things that I can accomplish quarterly, monthly, weekly to actually move the needle to achieve those goals, so they're not just sitting there on my big yearly want to have, but with no plan of action to actually accomplish them. That is really the key to accomplishing anything, is having that big goal, but breaking it down into micro bite-sized tasks and getting those little tasks done. And then you'll look back and be so proud of yourself for accomplishing that big goal. So for me, I usually have 1 or 2 kind of career-driven goals and then 1 personal goal as my third. And then I get very excited to start filling in my planners. As you can probably tell, I loved school stationery. This gets me really excited. And just very quickly, this was my favorite planner of all time. I found it on Amazon and also at Staples here in Canada. It's the Blue Sky Inkwell Press planner. Now, they do sell it at Office Depot if you're in the States. For the past maybe 5 years, I've been obsessed with this planner because of how they have goal setting in the beginning, and you can really break your goals down quarterly, monthly, weekly, I'm gonna keep repeating that because that's how I accomplish everything, is breaking it down. And I just really liked the layout, and once you find a layout you like, it's like a good pair of jeans, it's like a hairdresser, you just are loyal to them and you keep going back. But this year this was not available on Amazon, and it wasn't available at Staples. I tried to buy it from Office Depot online, but they don't ship to Canada. So it was just getting too complicated to get a hold of this. So I took a lot of time scouring the internet, looking at different layouts that suit me. And I like this big kind of bendy size notebook. This one was fun. It comes with a little pen holder. So I found this again on Amazon, and it was a lot cheaper. So that was a bonus. It comes in a lot of different colors. I got the blue daisy one just because why not? And usually I always have it open anyway, so I don't typically see the cover. It's the All God 2024 12-month appointment book or planning calendar. And now I'll show you the layout, because some of these things, if you don't have this planner exactly, I will leave the link below though if you do want to get it on Amazon. But some of the goal planning things, I like to see how they do the layout, so I'll just show you. You can incorporate it if you are a bullet journaler, you want to put this into your own plain notebook, whatever it may be, but I'm so excited to fill this out. All right, so hopefully you can see this. I will just flip through very quickly. This is, I gotta put my name on it. We have 2024, 2025 at a glance, all the important holidays. That's helpful for Instagram, Bookstagram, and YouTube planning. I like to see what's coming up so I can plan out maybe different themed months. Then I love this setup. We have the yearly goals. This might be my favorite page. They have 6 goals. Like I said, I try to do top 3, but then maybe I'll make these my little micro goals. Your reward for that goal, a deadline, this is key. And then I love how they have 5 bullet points for you to break it out to how you will achieve that goal in little tasks. You have a contact page. This is great. I love sending snail mail, keeping track of addresses. Again, important dates, and this is the entire 2024 year at a glance. So I love going through this at the beginning and populating it with all of the events that I know are coming up. If you have weddings, birthdays, anniversaries, or if you're a writer, any book deadlines, things like that, I will put in here, and I typically color code it by priority and project. And then we're already into January, so full month at a glance. I love that. I will use this, but I typically use my wall calendar for my monthly stuff because I can see it easily, but this is a good backup. Then you have the weekly planner, and what I really liked about this is that it's time stamped. So I've started implementing batch working, which really is just picking a theme for each day of the week, but then having the time stamp really keeps me on track, and I can see where I have free chunks of time and I'm not maybe wasting the full day on one project. I have a hard stop at a certain time, and this, I really liked that it had the time stamping to make my ideal schedule. And this is great. Along the side you have your weekly focus, your top priorities for the week, any follow-ups. This is good. Follow-up emails, calls that you need to make. And I love this, what you're grateful for that week. Nice little reflection. And then you have your to-do list, your weekly review, love that, and a little notes section. So I felt like this was a great weekly setup for someone like me. So overall, that's the agenda. Anyway, so this is really the simple way that I plan out my entire year, is through this agenda and then through my wall calendar. And I take all of those tasks, put them on my little sticky notes and onto my kanban board. So I didn't want to make this video too crazy long. I wanted to just kind of show you my process of how I reflect on the past year, how I plan for the new year ahead. So I'll just leave you with my favorite saying, and it is, focus on the process, not the results. So if you just focus on the process, take it day by day, not the end result, you will be so amazed and so proud of yourself when you look back and see what you've accomplished. So that is where I will leave you. I hope you have an amazing holiday season, an incredible new year, and I will see you in my next video.